So this morning we have come out now to do another big job here at the farm. You can see behind me the workshop has been extended forward by like 3 meters, and so the roof now needs to come out and cover that area. So that's our kind of job for today, and probably for tomorrow as well, depending on how long it takes. So some roof sheets have to come off, we have to extend the purlins and put all the gubbins back in, and then put the roof sheets back on top to cover that over. Also some garage roll-up garage doors are going to go in these gaps here as well. So but for now we're going to get started on the roof. So yeah, wish us luck.
And so it began, the systematic cutting of all the roof screws and removing the roof sheets panel by panel by panel. It's really kind of slow going work, having to cut each individual roof screw, but it has to be done to be able to get to the trusses underneath so we can modify them, change the angle of the roof, bringing the sheets right forward over the full length of the workshop. It's really hot work, but with all hands on deck it was soon done, and we had to move on to removing the existing purlins. This meant cutting off all the old rusty brackets and removing the purlins overhead. This kind of took a bit of time. It was a really rusty kind of job, and there's no way that I was going to unscrew the coach screws, so they just had to be cut off and knocked out the way. We then had to extend the bottom of the new trusses, but this we massively underestimated and took the rest of the whole day.
So to catch you up for today, we've extended the bearers out of to the front of the new section. We have removed some of the purlins, and then tomorrow the idea is to fix the bearers, to extend them and complete the trusses, add new purlins and put the roof sheets back on, and we'll start again bright and early. So not a bad day's work.
The next day we got straight back to it. We had to measure up for the uprights which were going to support the purlins, and I guess some of us took the work a little less serious than others, but hey, it's all fun on the building site. After we had our measurements, we had to cut an angle on the edge of the uprights so that the purlin could sit at 90 degrees to the truss and would be a flat surface to fix the roof sheet to. There were quite a few of these to do, and these, you can see the old purlins needed to be moved around and kind of jiggled a bit. So we ran a line to bring all the bottoms of the new truss up to the exact same height, temporarily fixing it in so we could scribe the back of it and notch it out so it would lie on top of the old truss, giving much greater strength and support. You can see by the end of the second day we were nowhere near finished. Day 3 was kind of more of the same. We had to continue with the upright supports for the new trusses, and you can see it's incredibly time consuming when you are trying to repurpose and attach a new structure to an old existing one. If it was a case of removing everything and putting on brand new trusses and brand new roof sheets, I think it could have been done in 2 or 3 days, but here we are still on day 3. This is the very top of the new truss, which is just going in with an angle bracket and some coach screws. Once that was in place, then we could put the new purlins on top of the trusses and see how we fared. They went up to a plumb line to make sure that they were all overhanging the exact same amount, and those that were joined and were a little bit longer were just kind of trimmed down to size. Those pieces that we trimmed off the end we use as braces, so you can see here, to actually join the trusses. Because of the width of the workshop, we sometimes had to join the purlins because you couldn't really get off the shelf lengths to what we needed. So once they were braced up and squared up and screwed together, they were extremely strong and ready to do their job. So day 4 kind of brought with it the hope and expectation of potentially finishing. It also gave the feeling that things were moving quickly now, since the roof sheets were going on and we were out of the woodwork territory. But still, you have to be careful with this stuff. It is metal, and if the wind catches it, it can be very dangerous to keep hold of. These were slowly screwed in with self-tapping roof screws, which you can see have a little sealing washer underneath. It was at this point that a few of the guys helping us had other jobs that they needed to go and do, so I got the drone out and wanted to give a bird's eye view of the project from the top. We were about halfway there. You can see the interspaced clear panels, which were the skylights, and also the fact that we were kind of repurposing and reusing some of the zinc sheeting, so it doesn't look particularly very beautiful, but it does the job, and we would prefer not to waste it just for the sake of having shiny new panels. The very next day we had the last half of the roof to finish off, and so we got cracking, because in 24 hours time from this point there was quite a lot of rain due, so we had to crack on and get the whole workshop sealed from the top. These roofing screws need a little bit of persuasion to go in, otherwise they run around on top of the zinc, so that was the reason for tapping it in with the hammer. And some of the uprights were a little tall or a little proud, making the roof sheets rise up a little bit. So I got stuck in there with the electric plane and shaved off the edge just so that the roof sheet wasn't rocking around on that high point. Like I've said previously, it's really time consuming when you are repurposing and reusing old materials. You can see we kind of mucking around here trying to figure out where the clear sheet should go and what sheets we have left before we put that final long sheet on. The edge is a leading edge where we get strong winds down here, and it needed extra support and extra roofing screws to make sure that it was secure during all weather conditions. And something that I forgot to mention earlier was that this day we had no electricity, so we had to run a generator all day.
Just about to do the last 3 or 4 screws. Come on. And that is that. Look at the size of this roof behind me here, with all of the see-through panels in between to provide some light. 5.5 solid days of building this roof out. Man, what a mission, but it's so worth it because it's a giant step forward for us to get things going here on the farm, making bee boxes and furniture and all the kind of stuff I spoke about previously. So it's Friday afternoon. We're probably gonna sit down and crack open a beer in a second just to celebrate the end of the week and a job well done. Stay tuned. There'll be more of these kind of videos coming out soon. Thanks again. Cheers.